What you're looking at here is what we call an ASCII delimited file. This is what one would do or create if they had like an accounting system or some sort of a database and they had no way of really saving certain data or exporting certain data out as an Excel spreadsheet or worksheet, but instead, I guess it would be a spreadsheet, but into a worksheet as well. But instead, all they can do is export it out as a very common, very easy to later on import file. So the scenario is, you say to somebody, hey, I need that data, and they say, no problem, I'll get it out to you. So you maybe receive this via email, and you go, wait a minute, this doesn't look like a spreadsheet. You open it up and say, whoa, what is this? Looks like a mess. It's actually very organized, because the first row have what are called the field names, each separated by a comma, right? And then surrounded by quotation marks for things like two worded or more field names that will be surrounded. And then that second and beyond row then are your records. Now, this data here comes from about 1995, back when I bought a mailing list from a company. And, you know, lucky I knew how to do this stuff, because I've been doing this since about 1981, 82. So I knew how to deal with it, but I'm saying to myself, man, I can imagine somebody that has no idea of what to do with something like this, so they can make their mailing labels or their envelopes or whatever out of this. So this is, again, this is a nightmare to most people. So I want to show you how you go about taking this file, this data that we have here, and actually bringing it into a worksheet. Now, if you just try to take this whole chunk here and do a copy and then go into Excel and paste it in, this whole chunk of data here, and this goes and goes and goes and goes. I think I got like 50 or 80,000 names here, you guys. It's a huge amount here. I'm sure most of these people are out of business, but nonetheless, I got all this data here, and this would all go into one single cell. If you were having to be on cell address A1 and pasted it, all that would be in A1. I don't even think you could fit that much in there. But the idea is that that would be the wrong way of doing it. So let me show you how we're going to make this happen. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have an open, workbook. You don't have to have. Let me just back up. You need a blank sheet. All right. Now, if you already have an existing workbook open, right, and you've already got something on one of the sheets, you can just create a new sheet, stay in the same workbook if you want, and bring this data in too. So just as long as you've got something like this, we're good. All right. Then what you'll do is you'll go into the data tab here. All right. And you'll see an area here. They don't really call it importing here. It's more of a get and transform data. So in this case, we're going to say we're going to go and get or open up and import a ASCII, which is also known as a text file, okay? But this one right here is the one we'd want to go with. So any kind of an ASCII type of file, or you've sometimes maybe heard of CSV type files, very close to an Excel file, but still, this is what you'd use to bring it in. So you click onto that. And eventually, I always love the not responding. Okay, so there it is. So what we need to do now is go and find that file. So I'm going to go out here on my desktop. I've got the file, and here is the delimited file right there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and double click that. And this is what you're going to get. It already knows that your delimiter, what's separating the data, is a comma. And it's showing you what it's going to do for your data. All right, it doesn't show everything right off the bat, but that's what it's going to look like. So this looks a heck of a lot better than I think the ASCII file did, right? So once you say to yourself, okay, this looks good, I'm ready to go. So you go down here and you click on to load. All right, wait a few seconds. You don't have to worry about this on the side here. I'm just going to close this. There it is. There's your data. Now it comes in as a table, and we'll be talking about tables later on, but as far as you're concerned, once it's in like this, you can pretty much do anything with it. All right, but there it is. If you say to yourself, I don't want the table, I don't want all that stuff, right? Well, what you can do then is go to your table tools up here, right? Hit design here. And then you'll see something over here called convert to range. So you just click onto that. It says it's going to do it. Are you sure you want to do it? Yeah. So hit OK. And now it's just regular data, right? Which is, again, it's not going to be much different than what we had with the table. And you get an added benefit where you get every other row in a different color. The only problem with that is that if you go and sort this data, it doesn't stay every other. The coloring kind of goes with the data. So what I would do in this case is I would go to here, all right, and I would do a control shift, right arrow key, control shift, down arrow key. That'll take me down to the last record. I guess I only had 40,000. Still had a lot of names there. Anyway, so you do that, and then you go to your home tab, go to your little paint bucket for your fill color, hit the drop down and tell it, hey, I don't want anything in there. Just leave it white. So you go over here to no fill, and there you go. And that's it. So that looks pretty good. And there's your data. So what you thought was a disastrous situation, in less than a minute, you can make it look like this. So hopefully this helps with some of your situations. I know, my God, I mean, for years and years and years, I would go out to companies left and right, and they'd pay me to you know, do this kind of thing with their data so they could start using it. And they, you know, also obviously take a class for it so they know how to do it and all that. But man, I tell you, this is a big thing. When you know the data tools, you are gold. All right, take care. Thanks for watching the video.